novelty's gone.
The first one also, they got rid of the anarchy. The first one was the only one that had anarchy, and that's the only reason it was like such a sensation.
Because like you could tune in and be like, where are we at? Are we doomed?
Yeah.
Speaking of tuning in, and where are we
I'm
at?
good.
And are we
Hi! Oh, hello.
What's good? Welcome back to FlavorText. Today we are continuing our Mutants and Masterminds campaign, where we last left off. The students were reeling from the revelation of Virgil Cowell as the mesmerist. Virgil Cowell being their student body president. He's the president of the school, not the student body. I mean, technically the student body by extension, but he's the school's president, principal, whatever. He's the school's principal, and he's the world's #1 supervillain.
I didn't vote for him.
Everyone's like, not my principal, hashtag. If we were popular, that would be a great shirt.
Not my principal! I'm getting it made for me.
Oh my god. Court, you already have like 4 shirts for this character.
They're also just good shirts.
Okay. But we were reeling from that information, and it was a lot of the student body handling that, and the teachers trying their best to provide venues for the students to express these emotions, and to talk about the last day of classes was kind of how to win against a seemingly insurmountable foe. And as Robin went out on the town with her friend Jareth to sort of figure out and process and talk, they found themselves in the Lunar Landing, the city's kind of like shadier district, where this is like your nightlife, your raves, your karaoke, your bars, your like shitty 2 a.m. ramen spots.
You muggers.
And your muggers.
And
They
apparently muggers.
Yeah, that they've all been calling muggers, and I never said those words, but they put it into the world. And does everyone have a hero point, by the way?
No.
No, I'll get those.
Thank you. Make sure everyone has one. If someone brought food, give them a second.
Who brought food?
Ilona.
I did.
And technically Dax did.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks. Nice. I brought tamales for everyone.
2 for
You
you.
did.
They were delish.
You're delish.
1 for you.
Cause you a
That's
snack.
weird.
No, I'm calling
Oh.
Dax attractive. It's not weird.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah, you're all attractive fools. And so Robin and her friend Jareth were walking into the Lunar Landing when they were approached by 2 gentlemen who offered them an escort fee to bring them safely out of the Lunar Landing. And when Robin and Jareth were like, nah, we got this, one of them proceeded to turn his arm into a blade and be like, look, it's a really dangerous place you're in. You should probably, you need our help, don't you know? And Jareth said, enough of this, and using his magnetism, pinned the blade to the wall, and that is where we're picking up. Please roll for initiative.
Nice.
Ooh. That's
Goodish.
19. Right? Yes.
What's your agility?
1.
Okay, so you'll be second in initiative.
Dang.
As there was a tie, and ties go to the higher agility score.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. And so we're starting in combat, effectively, as the last thing that happens is the blade was magnetized to the wall, and the mugger said, I got a case for self-defense. And he's going to proceed to turn his hand back to normal, thinking, aha, now the magnetism won't work.
Uh-huh.
And his hand is still stuck to the wall.
Yep.
So he's going to go ahead and take a turn analyzing Jareth.
Jareth is too strong.
Okay, that's that, and that's the... Okay. And he learns something, or nothing. You're not sure. Robin, the action is yours. You have Bladed Man with his hand stuck to a wall, and another mysterious figure at the other end of the alleyway.
I want to turn to Jareth and it's basically a look of, are we doing this or do we want to run?
You can use words, you know.
I know. Are we doing this or do we just want to get out of here?
I'm pissed.
Alright. In which case, I would like to vacuum the dude at the other end to us.
Sure.
This is where we find out he explodes.
His power, when out of oxygen, he fucking explodes.
I can see him, so it's move object 4
Yep.
towards me.
Okay. So
No, he
he's
doesn't
going
pay.
to move 30 feet closer, but only 30 feet closer.
He's tough.
Heavy boy.
He's a heavy boy. Yep. Then it's gonna go to his turn. He just, you hear him utter this guttural, thanks, as he clobbers forward, and like his form becomes a little more illuminated in the dim lighting of this alleyway. The reason you couldn't really make out much on the other side is because he's pretty devoid of color, as his skin isn't skin. He's rather made of like brick and mortar, and he kind of staggers forward, and he goes, "You should just give us your wallets." And then just and sinks into the floor a little bit.
Uh-huh.
A hard style user.
And then we're shifting to Jareth.
Mm-hmm.
He's gonna go. Does he have anything clever to say? Does Jareth have anything clever to say?
I mean, he just responded with, "I'm pissed."
Yeah, no, he's like, you handle him.
Okay.
And he's gonna go up to the blade user whose hand is still stuck to the wall.
Mm-hmm.
And he's gonna fucking punch him in the stomach.
Good.
Okay.
Stomach. Okay.
Yeah. I mean,
Wind him in the
teenager,
neck.
adult,
Yeah.
easy target. That's gonna hit. And the guy's gonna make a toughness check. And suffer a wound immediately as it's just a quick stomach punch from Jareth. Not like super stomach punch, just a regular punch.
Oh, facts.
Still squishy spots.
And then we shift back up to that guy, who is going to make his check to rip his arm free and succeed on that.
Shoot.
And try and stab Jareth. And Jareth's parry is much higher as this. He throws this hook, and right before it would connect with Jareth, and like you see it melding into that blade again, Jareth just little magnetic burst, pushes it off course. Just me flavoring his parry. And then we're gonna shift to Robin.
Okay. I would like to see. I know the cool thing.
Do the cool thing.
Do the cool thing.
We
the
play this
cool
game
thing.
to do cool things.
You have 2 hero points. Do the cool thing.
Alright, I would like to run up to the dude,
Which dude?
the heavy dude that
Shit,
I've been
Brick
told
House.
to handle.
Brick House.
Brick House.
Actually, that's his canonical villain name.
Yes!
Is Brick
So
House.
I'd like
No,
to
they're
run up
villains.
to Brick House,
They're stealing
And,
wallets from children.
Yeah. They thought it would be an easy
combination
mark.
of judo throw, but also making him light enough that I can physically judo
Thank you.
throw him.
Okay. So do you have a power that
Onto the
currently
ground.
covers that?
The closest that I have is the move object with thrown mastery.
So I would like to suggest a power stunt here.
That's
Something we could
basically what
justify.
I was
So
figuring.
how many points is is that power?
the move object is 4.
How many ranks? Like how many power points invested?
Presumably 4.
4.
Okay. So I would suggest flavoring this as an enhanced strength, upping your strength by 4 for this.
Okay.
As an extension of the power stunt, basically to
Strong ball.
flavor not your strength, but rather their lightness in your hands.
Yes.
Cool. So power stunting that's not a hero point, right?
It's
You
extra
just-
effort. You
it's
can use a hero point to not be fatigued.
Oh, I'm gonna do that this time.
Cool. So
Having speed will be
you're
important.
gonna go ahead and make a grapple check.
Okay.
And you're going to be adding a +4 to that hit.
Okay.
So, grapple, do you have that and do you know how that works? You gotta make a close combat check.
Yeah, make a close combat check.
Oh, okay. So close combat, I actually have a +2 in.
Well,
Or
now you're rolling-
+3.
Well, now you're rolling at a +7.
Cool.
Nice.
That'll be 24.
24 exceeds his parry. You pick him up. You Dax Walker through the grapple.
Just, you have to hit, and then the grapple has to start. It is resisted, so you will have to roll a grapple check with your grapple modifier.
He rolled a nat 1 on his resistance.
You got it.
Okay. Should I
So
roll
you
to
ha-
make sure that I don't also not one?
No.
Okay.
You spent the point, and
Uh-huh.
Yeah,
Okay.
the DM told you.
and you can either hold the grapple and still have him. If he rolled a nat 1, he is defenseless
Yep.
because he is currently impaired, immobile, and defenseless when you have.
I would be defenseless if a small girl picked me up.
If I was made of brick and a small girl lifted me.
I'd be like,
Uh-huh.
okay.
So
Things you can do right now. You can just immediately throw him, which will be immediate strength damage, but then you lose the grapple. On his turn, he'll get a chance to break out of the grapple. You don't have to roll to maintain it, thankfully. Currently, you are vulnerable as well,
because you're grappling.
Because you're grappling. And you can next turn aim and throw him if you would rather throw him at the other guy. But you have to wait till next turn. You can't do that immediately on this turn.
So what would you
Okay.
like to do?
He seems like a much more brute force rather than deftly getting out of a grapple, so I would like to maintain the grapple at present.
Sure. So on his turn, he will try and resist.
Mm-hmm.
It is his turn.
We did it.
No.
Okay.
You got him.
Wow.
Then it goes to Jareth, who you're kind of tangling with this guy, but you hear, by one, you hear another part of this guy's body cling to the wall, and with a quick glance, you see he's got one arm stuck, and like that was the one that had just gone this way, and it's kind of stuck here.
Mm-hmm.
And this is what was just stuck because it was free. Yeah, so this is stuck to the wall, and he's kind of bound himself to this wall. So he's going to like hyperextend and come out the other way around his own arm. But Jareth is using that to his advantage and sticking to the side of him that he has like difficulty reaching. Because you can't move this one. You've only got so much movement. So he's gonna swing at Jareth with a 2 on. That's before any modifiers and situational penalties. And that was Jareth's reaction. That was set up, and then Jareth's gonna take his turn, and he's going to just like the one arm stuck. He reached out with the other one. He's gonna try and pin the other one. He's gonna try and stick this guy to the wall, and succeed by a lot. So the guy is magnetized against this wall by his wrists.
Theoretically, would it be more like this?
No.
The one was stuck here?
So he was like this. He uncoiled this way.
Okay, got it.
Just spun to the wall.
Yep, he spun into the wall. And then it is the grappled guy's turn. No, then it's the mugger's turn who's stuck to the wall. The mugger.
The mugger.
He is going to stay pinned in all senses of the word as he fails not only one of the saves, but both of them. They are separate afflictions.
Ooh.
Okay.
Because the way Jareth's power work is targeted. So his quirks on his powers reduce the cost considerably because they are so niche. It's not an affliction that magnetizes you. It's an affliction that magnetizes a single part of your body. So this is different than this. Like,
Okay.
it specifically affects one part at a time. But he has modifiers to keep multiple up to a certain limit. He can't have as many as he wants, but he can have this many so far. And then we move from the pinned mugger who's going to try and kick at Jareth. He kicks Jareth, who fails a toughness check and takes a wound.
Dang.
Just like Jareth has him pin, and then just takes a boot to the chin. It-
Oh, he's good at kicking.
yeah. And he's just like, fuck you. And it is your turn, Robin.
Okay.
Throw the guy.
I would like to throw Brick House against the pinned dude.
Roll it.
Against Elric.
Elric. No, don't compare him to a cool character. He's mugger. Nice. I don't know what the roll is, but you're giving me a hero point to re-roll it.
It's not that anymore.
Yep.
It's still that.
Ouch.
I want to see this. I want to see it.
I'm okay with that. One more time.
Y'all are very invested in this, and I appreciate it.
It's better than the first one.
What's the
Better
total?
than the first
What's the
one.
total? Because the guy's has some penalties. Given that he can't fucking move.
And the one who's
Um,
pinned is defenseless.
Is this with the
Throne mastery.
just throne mastery? Okay, so that's a 10.
10 does not exceed
Oh.
his dodge.
I'm not
Thankfully-
surprised.
Thankfully, he is currently, I'm just giving it to you.
Yeah,
I'm
see
giving
it.
it to you.
We spent enough hero points.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you hurl him. So this is thrown object. This guy's mass rank is that. So I'm using that as the toughness check.
And both of them have to take it.
Because he is also
Well,
being thrown.
the brick house takes the damage and suffers 2 wounds. The pinned guy takes the damage and suffers 0 wounds.
Wow.
He succeeded his toughness checks.
Damn.
But
he just
what,
tensed
what,
up.
what I'm gonna flavor is, yeah, he turned his body into a blade at that moment, like just hyper fine, so that like it was scraping of the other guy, which I'm gonna put the other guy out for that because that's a defense mechanism that hurts
Yeah.
a lot.
Even if he's made of brick, that's a very thin blade, and he's getting hurled with a lot of weight
At
behind
it,
him.
yeah. Is gonna shift to the now unconscious brick house, and it's gonna shift to Jareth, who you watch. This guy's pinned to the wall, and Jareth rears his fist back and just rockets it into this guy's stomach, magnetizes back here to create this person. Just yeah, toughness check. Dude's down. Just and you see a little dent in the guy's stomach before his skin returns to skin and not blades. And Jareth pulls away a bloody knuckle.
His hand combined to make one knuckle?
Yeah, a single. He pulls away bloody knuckles.
That's how you can tell someone has a cork.
He pulls away his bloody knuckles, which are now torn with the razor blades of the other guy's body.
Guess it's a good thing I picked up band-aids.
Yep. And then he throws another one. Bah! Just a second punch into the guy's gut.
He's down.
Yeah. We good?
Yeah.
Cool. Let's go back. And like, he fishes through the guy's pockets and pulls out a cell phone, flips it open, dials 911, and just drops the phone. Wow. Shall we?
Yep.
And you guys make your way back to campus. And Jareth's letting out a little steam. And it's gonna... Did anyone have a nightly activity that night other than being mugged?
I was
my
eating
apple
dinner
juice
with
over
the
here
principal.
I would also like
Yes.
to be mugged.
It is doing alert.
Thank you. My Batman mug. Not mine. It's Ilona's Batman mug.
Appropriate to be lurking, then.
Alright, so Rin also wants to be mugged. Rin walks across this alley and there's an unconscious man made of bricks and a pulverized man made of blades.
And all of his buddies show up at the same time and think you did it.
Nice. Let's go.
No. So we've got dinner with Virgil.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
So you meet him in his office, where you knock on his door and he opens it. Mr. Tonu.
Hey, what's
Well-
eating?
Just the basics. And he's got a very simple square meal set up on a plate. A little bit of extra fish, brain food.
Now, is that what you like, or is that what you have to have?
This is what I like.
Oh, okay. How was your day?
Long. Always is. Have to balance the truth of the circumstances against the things I'd like to get done.
Fair. Probably a lot of administration stuff to take care of.
Yeah. And bureaucracy. With our public outing coming up, I have to make sure that all lips are sealed.
Yeah, that's gotta be hard.
It is what it is.
Yeah, you had the time to think that it was going to happen.
And it's not like I didn't spend years preparing for this.
Mm-hmm.
How was your day, Mr. Tonu? And he invites you over, and he's got like a little table set up as opposed to his desk. Like he pulled in a fold-out table for two.
Could have gone better.
Do go on.
Well, training exercise, sort of that I thought was doing well, but
The dispute between your classmate and you.
mm-hmm.
I heard about that.
Wow, gossip travels.
I know everything that goes on in my school.
That's a bold statement.
It's my job, isn't it? As a superintendent.
More or less.
Mm-hmm. And when, in the last period of the day, I hear students arguing, and I'm curious as to why. So I ask the teacher after the fact.
Yeah, that makes sense. I know you're kind of the wrong person to ask about this type of thing.
What's the question?
But have you ever run into a situation where victory wasn't worth it?
Absolutely. Consistently.
Yeah, but you're a villain though.
And?
Like, isn't it supposed to be like the victory at all costs mindset? Like,
I'm a villain because the public paints me as one, and because what I've done is considered morally reprehensible. I have killed plenty of people by my actions. However, if I were a true villain by that definition, I would have killed many more along the way. There were many times when I thought the loss of life did not outweigh the benefits gained. Which is why I stand by everything I've done. Not a single bit of it was uncalculated.
What was the first, the action you've taken? Because I'm assuming there's some action where you finally say I'm a villain now. What was your turning point, as it were?
I think the first time I removed someone's memory of their power.
Ouch. Yeah. Judging from your previous statement, you would claim that they deserve it. Or that it had to be done, right?
That was before I had my ideas and goals. That was while I was still learning what my power was.
Did you do it intentionally?
No.
Then it wouldn't be your first villain action. You didn't mean to do it.
The effects were permanent. They still have no powers.
Yeah, but you didn't mean to... I see.
Mm-hmm.
Can you make it right? Can you give them back?
I can change what people think and what they remember. I don't know how to use their power, and so I cannot give them that memory. I know what feeling powerless is, and so I can do that with just about anyone.
If you ever figure it out, would you go back and give them back their powers?
If that is what they wanted. At this point, they've probably lived a good 20 or 30 years without it. Maybe they don't want it at this point. But if they did, and I knew how, then I would.
Maybe you were the right person to ask after all, then. Did you have a villain team that you worked with?
No.
Okay.
I had villains that I manipulated, and ultimately they all ended up caught, which was some semblance of me doing good, taking out the trash, as it were. They were very often distractions or red herrings, so that I could get away hands-free and clean. And very often I used villains that I thought the public wished were behind bars, and ultimately weren't. They were what I think is a true villain, and so I made them take the fall. I don't think what I did is heroic, mind you, but I think there is heroism in it.
Yeah. Thinking in terms of greater good.
That is what I've always tried to do.
Yeah.
Many of them jumped at the opportunity to work with the famous mesmerist. I let the reputation spread even if I never let my name or face be properly known. That way I could entice them in and push them out.
Is Virgil your real name?
Yes, my name is Virgil Cowell. It always has been.
Okay. Cool.
Missed phone call? I'll check that later.
Do you know who that is? Court?
Nope.
No.
Oh, cool. Nice.
Huh?
He's one of our favorite people.
Cool.
But I'm not sure if you had met him personally. Not sure.
Not sure if Nick's did.
I have no idea.
We'll worry about it later.
Cool.
Won't dox him.
Well, thanks whoever you are. Appreciate you tuning in.
Probably just abbreviate it as Will.
Yep.
Cool. Okay. Huh. Do you own a dog?
Do I own a dog? I'm more of a bird person.
Do you have pictures?
Sure. And he takes out his phone and scrolls through until he passes you a picture of a trio of parakeets.
And so, kind of zooming out on this scene is just going to be trying to find a connection other than I'm trying to be a hero and you're trying to not be the worst villain ever that you just were type thing. because I think I got what I needed out of the conversation
Cool.
and can pass the camera.
Yeah. At the end of it, he gives you a very polite and very curt thank you. He doesn't say what for, but he says it on the way out. Or as he ushers you out, rather.
You're welcome. As the door shuts.
Mm-hmm.
Anytime.
And then does either of you have nightly activities other than getting mugged and talking to the supervillain?
I want to get mugged by the super.
So the mesmerist approaches you in an alleyway, and he convinces you that his hand is a sword and he's made of bricks.
And then you wake up and it's really VR-cade again.
Oh God!
You guys never left.
Dun, dun. That's my biggest fear.
Inception.
But no, Rand's nightly activities is literally just shooting. It's not
Shooting.
So much, it's not so much a group text as she like cycles through people, so the same people aren't like enduring these gauntlets of eating every single night. But she like sends out a text and she's like, "Hey, if anybody wants to eat, I'm gonna be at this place and then this place and then
Cool.
this place."
Yeah. You usually get at least one person.
Yeah, usually someone tags along. They're like, "I'll have something."
Yeah.
Whereas Rin is like, "I'm gonna have 3 halibut, 2 trouts, and a whole tuna."
And that's just for the appetizers.
That's just for this particular location.
And people around town have already begun to know, give you what you want and give you as much extra as they can because you tip well on your daddy's money.
Love it.
Like, you sit down and they have plates ready.
I walk in and they're like,
This
"This
is
right
our-
this way."
This is our appetizer sampler platter.
And it's 8 different kinds of fish. Like, full fish.
Uh-huh.
Actually, can I roll to see who I'm with?
Sure.
Fuck yeah.
There's obviously 3 people you can't be with.
There's an entire screen of, or not screen, but like a wall of like people blacklisted. You're like whitelisted, where they know you by sight, and every new employee they train to
They've
recognize
started
you.
passing posters around the different restaurants to be like, if this lady comes
Someone
in,
pick a card.
Ramona!
I'm with Ramona. Yeah.
Cute. So you're out with Ramona getting fish. And that's a lot of what it is you eating and Ramona politely just...
And throughout this meal, Rin is pretty much just talking about things that have happened in Japan, things that she knows Ramona would know about.
It's a back and forth.
She's very much so, "Oh, do you remember when this hero did, like, such and such? Oh, do you remember when Red Sakura's apprentice became their own hero?" And and it's Rin finally having, like, this really homey moment with a person in America.
Yeah.
She's sitting with Ramona, and it's just... she even speaks Japanese for the whole conversation.
Yeah. And Ramona responds in Japanese.
It's Rin being homesick.
It's really cute.
That's cute.
I'm just pulling up the chat so that if at any point I need to, I can properly respond.
I'm not rich per se, but my father is.
Yeah. Yeah, Rin's dad is... Oh.
I got that daddy money.
Yeah, daddy money.
Yep.
Would it help to do a quick character breakdown?
Yeah, we can do that real quick.
Sure. Yeah.
Just
Across
let's
the
wait-
table.
Let's just wait to see, because this
Got it.
individual said that they would be possibly looking at some of our VODs.
Cool.
So just if that would be
Appreciate.
helpful, we'll check in with them.
And
I don't necessarily think she's doing anything exciting. She's probably just in her dorm room / apartment
Your dorm.
doing doing the studying and trying to overhaul her wings, as it were, because that's a lot of square footage
Trying
to
to overhaul
redecorate.
your wings.
She's redecorating the entire thing
So overhauling
in a
them.
single pattern, and that's a lot of square footage when you have a 14-foot
Lenny offers to
wingspan.
help.
oh, Lenny, you're so wholesome.
So we have a yes please from the chat for going around and saying characters. Do you want to start?
Sure. Hi. Hello. First, IRL name is Sarah. My character is Angelica Carmen Carlisle, usually just called Allie, because that's a lot of name. She's 14, about 4'9", with massive bat wings, which she doodles on. Just, for the most part, each different panel, like in between the fingers, has been different art styles. But since there's a sports festival show off the kids coming up, she's trying to get a theme going here.
looking for a picture of her Dex.
I don't want to have one handy.
Mm.
It'd be messy to just go through and do
and find it.
screen
Yeah.
capture. So.
She's a hemomancer.
Mm-hmm.
She's a bloodbender, which
Lock.
isn't like a hugely accepted thing in this particular setting, because the only other very famous hemomancer is a serial
Not
killer.
true. There's 2 of them. Your dad.
This is true.
Oh,
So
God.
there's the trauma
Dead
surgeon.
again.
I was like,
There's the trauma surgeon and the serial killer. So take your pick. You have 2 choices in life.
Locke's bringing the ball around again.
Oh, kitty cat.
good keep.
Then we have Rin.
I am Court. I will be playing Rin Hamura. Rin Hamura is the daughter of famous Japanese superhero Tetsuno Ken, who is a serial adulterer and all-around lecherous human being.
Yeah.
And-
Real scumbag who can turn his body to iron.
But also
Rin's
punches.
whole purpose in becoming a hero and using her regeneration and super fast metabolism is she wants to have a fist fight with her dad and win. And I'm getting there. Yeah.
Nice. Hello, my name is Ilona Concetta. I am playing Robin Lewis. Robin, at least in terms of power, she has power over density.
Density manipulation.
She can make things heavy. She can make herself light. She can kind of fly around.
Yep.
But only on vectors because physics. This is the physics side of the table.
This is the biology.
Yep.
And she's got an attitude.
She's the bully.
She's a bully.
She's the bully.
She's
She's fucking mean, is what they mean.
She was definitely queen bee, as it were, at her old school, and is navigating things
Mm-hmm.
at the new super school.
And then we have Dax playing.
I'm Dex. Isaac Tonu. The last name you'll recognize because I borrowed it from one of the other members of the group chat, or the Geekdom Come group. Only because Tonu, if you split up the syllables and rearranged, is Newton. So it's like Isaac Newton, but with a flip.
Oh my god.
He's my little bald boy, and vaguely Polynesian in nature, and bald because then I don't have to draw hair.
Uh-huh.
And he's the monk build because he has studied every movement art ever, and will grab and then change gravity's axis. So he will fall you up to the ceiling and then drop you on your head.
Yep.
So that's my
He's
little bald
like
boy.
nasty. And those are our player characters. And Allie is with her roommate right now, Lenny, who is this bouncy. No, that's a pun. She's this bouncy energy, super rich and super pleasant to be around. Student with these port wine stains on her face, but usually covered up with a good bit of like pastel / clown style makeup, 2 tight green buns, and her power is that her body is made of coils. Literally, every part of her is coils. She can spring out her teeth if she wants. She's done it on camera. And you're like, she offers to help. And she's like, I could cover myself in chalk and just roll around.
No, that's. For one thing, you're probably heavier. The bones are actually pretty delicate, so if your body.
I mean, if
weight
you
was
stretch me
on-
out, I'm not heavy.
Probably not.
No, I'm not. I know. It's my power. Objectively, I'm not. We could do paint instead. Watercolors? I can just roll in something.
Do you want to roll in something?
I want to help.
Allie looks at the absolute arsenal of makeup that she's got. Do you have something that would remove
Yes.
ink?
Yeah.
Cool, because I have to get rid of. She holds up one wing of this so I can put everything else on it.
Okay, yeah, totally. And she like springs over to her cabinet and then lets her legs up and they just catch up to her body. And she goes digging through her vanity and just setting whiplashing things to just in front of you before gently setting them down.
Oh.
And she pulls out like 5 or 6 different products. Those should all work. Pick your poison. Don't know if you're allergic to anything.
In this case, pick your poison.
Not the last time I checked, but we're going to find out.
Cool.
And I guess they just pass a pleasant night of
Yeah.
removing ink and coloring in more things.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's what you do. And we all rest before we start our next day.
Text message that night not necessarily when you get back because our timelines don't match, and I don't know you're doing the things. But can we have a talk in person?
Sure. When?
No.
Is now okay?
Yeah, you guys can do it in the night.
Yeah.
That's the roleplay text, not asking the DM.
No, I know. I'm saying you can do it the night, like the night before we start the next school day.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. Meet you at the track?
Sure.
Meet me in the schoolyard.
Meet me at the schoolyard. Yeah, it's late, but you guys wander the track.
Yeah. Robin's basically wearing like a fuzzy bathrobe over just like her regular clothes. Like she hasn't changed
She just
into
needs-
PJs yet.
she just needs to be
It's,
warm.
like slightly cold out.
Hey.
Hey.
I'm really, really sorry. Just bows like
Uh-huh.
Rin style. I've been thinking a lot about it, and I'm sorry because you were right. I'm not good enough with communication yet. And it doesn't matter what I was thinking about or what I meant to do or I hurt you. And this is the only thing that I can do about that. So I'm sorry that I hurt you.
It's okay. I guess just be better.
Yeah.
Thank you for thinking about it and apologizing so quickly, and I just would appreciate action to go with the verbal apology, and that is on you.
Yes. Yeah, it is. And I know it's not my place to ask anything of you, but
I shouldn't have used fuck.
What? Oh.
Because she dropped the F-bomb.
Mm-hmm.
I think you did a good job
Of using the word fuck.
showing me how bad the problem was. My request is that, and again, I know I have no right to ask this, but
Mm-hmm.
I'd like, could you please continue to call me out every time that I don't live up to the me that I want to be?
This is an adult right here. This is adult thinking, guys. If you're in the audience, you don't have this mentality, you need it.
Isn't this kid 14?
You're all 13. I think Isaac's 12.
I'm 14.
Rin is 14. Japanese
You're,
school
you're,
year
all,
lined
you're
up
all
weird.
at least 14. Or you're all at least 13.
Mm-hmm.
Never mind me.
I literally had to like put together the Japanese school year and be like, fuck, she's older. She had a long summer.
I will do my best to keep doing that then, and I'll for everyone else's comfort level, I will come to you privately in the future.
That's fine too.
I feel like that's the only fair way to do that. It's not that productive to talk about stuff out in the open when you're just trying to be better. So I guess keep me accountable to that too.
Yes, ma'am.
You can get up now.
I love that.
Definitely.
I love that for you.
See you tomorrow then?
Yeah. We are in class together.
Smart ass.
A little bit.
She's still herself.
Yeah.
Yep.
No reason to be anyone else.
Mm-hmm.
No, really none.
See you in homeroom.
Yeah.
I'll look up to you.
Cute. Gross.
He's blushing in the
Aw.
dark.
Cutie.
I didn't mean it like that.
Adorable.
Trots back off to bed.
Adorable. Cool. So we're gonna start the next day. Isaac, it's only on a 1, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And so it was a 2, so I had to double check.
Mm-hmm.
So we begin our next school day. You guys wake a little groggy, especially you, Robin. You got the worst night's sleep.
Mm-hmm.
And you make your way to your homeroom class, where Kara is dressed in her costume,
Oh.
that of the
Oh.
chameleon, which is very simply an adaptive, bodysuit. As people come in, she, demonstrates immediately how it shifts when she goes to take on a power. If it is a physical change, you watch as that part of the suit just changes to accommodate. Hello, everyone. It's good to see you again. This is a precursor for the day. Today we will be talking about presentation in most of our classes. Specifically, we will start you all thinking about your costume, or at least the early draft stages of it, as we are approaching our public debut, and we wish everyone to present at least further ahead than the world expects us to be. And so, prepare for this. Your costume will reflect who you are, who you aspire to be, and what you wish the world to see you as. I do not know what every independent class will deal with, but this will be the general theme of the day, is presentation. If you have any questions, feel free to ask, but otherwise, do as you normally do. Enjoy your 15 minutes, and your day will begin shortly. Miss Imura,
When do we get our costumes?
as soon as you have rough drafts for Adelheid.
Ka-ching!
Ellie's got a folder.
I have a picture.
Court's got an actual one.
That's adorable. That's so cute.
Sugoi.
Yay!
May I? As a dungeon master?
とってもすごい。
Ilona actually speaks Japanese, and it always catches me off guard because I do not expect it. That's cute.
Court's playing the Japanese character.
I know. It's just
So let's see if we can't possibly get this in front of
It's pretty
meaningfully in
light.
front of
Oh.
camera.
She's stand at that angle.
There we go.
It's a good thing that light is so close by.
thanks, Ringlight. So as soon as you have rough drafts ready, we will begin the development over the next 2 weeks as we move towards the festival. And if people do not have one submitted, we will have one for you,
Oh.
Oh,
Danger Town.
I'm curious.
based on what we think would be good.
I want to know both things.
Right? I'm curious. I have my own ideas, but I want to know what theirs are.
I want to see y'all's draft too. Maybe we can.
Bye, Will.
Bye.
Very well. And homeroom continues pretty quietly as everyone, there's sketchbooks taken out, there's people looking through sketchbooks of ideas they've already drawn up, and it is not a single person in the room who hasn't come up with something except for Ryan.
Who?
Yeah. Because Ryan, he's looking at it and he's looking at a blank piece of paper and keeps just clicking and unclicking a pen, which is how you know he's there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, she's come up with a lot of designs that are self-forgettable.
It's funny you should joke about that.
Oh no, does he actually forget his own designs?
If they picture him.
No!
If he's not looking at the designs that he's drawn of himself, he forgets what they are.
Ren scoots closer to Ryan. Hey,
Hey.
what are your ideas?
Oh, I don't know.
None in the slightest?
I mean, I've had ideas, but they don't feel right. Because, people are going to forget me when they stop looking at me, so why bother?
Well,
Oh, hi.
sorry. Sorry, I didn't mean to drop. Sorry.
Let's see. I'm just seeing where people were seated so I can get this visual.
Mm-hmm.
So the two of you scooted all the way across the classroom from your back corner to like the other one.
Sorry, didn't mean to eavesdrop.
You're fine. You have super hearing, Allie. You can't not.
I know, but I don't have to interrupt. Sorry. I forget what I was gonna say.
It's okay. People forget around me.
So, I do remember. So if you're worried about, or you know that others are going to forget, pick something that you want. Because that means you could go absolutely crazy with your costume. It could just be what you've always sort of wanted to wear. You could literally just wear sweatpants because they're comfy. Because if they're going to forget you, why not wear something that you like?
I mean, are you gonna make something you don't like?
I am testing out different things because there's an image.
Yeah, but you've gotta like it. Like
Yes,
you can't go out hearing something you don't like.
But like, I have to like it, and also it has to be seen. Whereas you can just enjoy yours, wear clashing colors, or like a bunch of neon or something.
I don't think I'd enjoy that.
Then don't wear something else.
Why don't you wear blue?
I was trying to think of something that fits with what I do.
Forget-me-nots.
That's real smart.
He just writes it down. I think that beats my hero name too.
What did you have in mind?
I don't remember. That's a joke.
Oh.
I didn't have any solid ideas, but that's actually a really good one.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah, thanks.
Whenever I try and think of you in superheroics, I think it would be a good idea for you to stick to a very classic silhouette, so that way anyone who looks at you immediately knows that you can help.
Mm-hmm.
They don't necessarily have to remember that you can help.
Yeah,
They just have to know in the moment that you can.
That you're safe when they see you.
hopefully that they're safe when they see me.
Uh-huh.
Well, a little bit of column A, a little bit of column B.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry.
You good? And he goes to drawing flowers in his sketchbook. Cute. Cute. And we move out of homeroom and towards general education. Our little sandwich of Diesel and Megaphone and Diesel again. Diesel, Megaphone, Diesel. Teaching chemistry and then language and then math. And after that, we move. Just for fun, the whole language class is about don't judge a book by its cover, but also do. Because
Also
the
the cover
because the
matters.
cover matters. The cover is a choice that someone makes. The cover is a choice that someone makes. It is a decision they choose. That when you're looking for a book, maybe you don't read the jacket, maybe you don't read the back, maybe you don't look up a synopsis. You say, "Oh, that one looks good. What's on the picture? What's on the cover?" See, as much as you shouldn't judge a book by its cover, that advice was given by a pedant who didn't understand why covers exist. Do judge by what's on the outside, and if it intrigues you, learn what's on the inside then. But if what's on the outside don't grab your attention, then that is perfectly fine. You don't gotta bother. So, yeah, just do worry about what's on the outside, especially in a job as presentational as this one. He is also in his uniform for the day, which is very simply like a nice, like, formal suit with a simple, very tight-cut brown jacket with two little speakers attached to the collar. Like, two little microphones. And the speakers, you're not sure where they are on his costume, but his voice does have a little extra reverb to it. Mm-hmm.
His entire coat's a speaker. Omnidirectional.
It's in his hair.
Surround sound.
It's his Fu Manchu, don't you know? Remember, he has one of those. And Diesel's outfit is very much Torbjorn from Overwatch. Like,
Oh my
it's
God.
it's like a welder's mask and like a blacksmith's apron and just leather all over, like heat-resistant leather all over his body. It's not pretty, but he's like, and this is the outfit I won the beauty contest in. This is from early days and late days. I never change it, not once. And just going on as he moves into his lessons and demonstrates exactly why he has it. And in chemistry in particular, like, he just blows shit up. And it does nothing to his costume. Boris Impervious. And then we make our way to How to Be a Hero with Solar Flare, who is once again in his disco flared bell-bottom pants.
Yeah,
And,
he is.
But this is his contemporary costume as opposed to like his debut costume. And this one is actually rather toned down. It looks like disco attire. It is an open, like, V-cut vested...
I like that disco attire is toned down for him. Because disco attire in history is toned the fuck up.
His previous outfit was a disco ball.
That's
all it was.
I love him.
But it's an open, like, V-neck where you can see a little bit of his pecs poking through. Designed to show off who he is. And draw attention to him effectively. It accentuates who he is nicely. Bell-bottom flared, like, kind of maroon colored. His top is basically beige, which is a weird pairing. But he doesn't care. And he's got, like, little rose embroidered sequins running down it. And he's got just visors. Just 2 of them. I'm not joking. 2 visors. One underneath and then one, like, on top. The one underneath flares out, and the one on top flares down.
Duckbill.
A little bit. He's got kind of a duckbill visor going on. And he greets everyone. His hair is styled. Like, instead of just being a mane, it is hairsprayed into a bigger mane.
Very 80s. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, you cough a little bit as you get the scent of hairspray off of him.
Immersion.
Mm-hmm. And he greets everyone. Hello, everyone. It's good to see you again. I'm getting stared at. Good. That's the point of my costume. It draws attention. And when people look at me, well...
They're not looking elsewhere.
Correct. It is... My job as a sidekick is distraction. Not that every sidekick's job is distraction, but mine in particular is usually reconnaissance, surveillance, and distraction. And this helps me do all of those things, funny enough. Yes?
Nothing.
No, go on, ask the question.
How does your costume help with reconnaissance?
Oh, well, people say, that's Solar Flare. We should be looking elsewhere. And they don't pay attention to what I do.
Oh.
Because they know he's a distraction.
Yep. They know I'm a distraction. And so they don't let me be one, at which point I do surveillance. Unless we need me to do distraction, in which case I just turn my power on. Mm-hmm. Reputations matter just as much as your costume. Presentation is the whole package. It is more than just what you look like, but is what you're doing and the reputation that surrounds it. We all know me to be extravagant and flamboyant and attention-seeking. And when it comes to my class, originally the focus was on all of you, which was different than what I outwardly present, but you all had at least some idea of what you were walking into before you met me. Because of that reputation and because of that. So, today we're going to be talking twofold. One, about the reputation, though Virgil will be going into more of that. And secondly, about the presentation. Presentation is going to be my focus because, while I do have a reputation, many of my tricks are known. And many of his aren't. This is the difference in our reputations. As far as presentation, though, I'm very good at that. In fact, I'm dazzling. And then just for a brief moment, he... It's not like a blinding pulse, it just sparkles around him. And like that anime off of his visors. And then he smiles off of his smile. So my power, as many of you may know and many may not, is I'm a solar battery. During the day, I absorb sunlight and I store it in my body up to a limit. And I can use that in controlled bursts. So, what does my outfit do that aids with that? Nothing. Nothing at all. At least on the first glance. However, these visors can reflect light at very particular angles, more or less following where my eyes go. There's trackers inside of them, and he takes one of them off and flips it, and it's just technobabble. And the other one, like, flips the other way, and it's technobabble. And when they're flipped out, they form, like, the crescent and sun that is the lunar eclipse solar flare trademark.
Nice.
And then he flips them back down. And, these, and he gestures to all the rose sequins, they're more than just my peculiar style. And he begins, like, very carefully oscillating light around the sequins at perfect angles and pinpoint, like, shooting out these little beams of light off of the roses. In particular, each one of them is a slightly different hue because different hues affect different senses. And some supervillains can't see certain colors and so on and so forth. And so I have across my top effectively the full UV spectrum. The sleeves, and he gestures, and the flares, and he lifts a leg, also have mirrors inside of them, just for more tricks. And ultimately, where they flare out, it is because there's like a canvas of mirrors set up around his ankles and wrists. So it is about presentation and function, and that is something we'll go into a little bit more next time, is function. But I wanted to give you a preview. So presentation. This does me two things. One, everyone immediately knows me as Solar Flare. I'm the only hero who looks like this. And I mean to keep it that way. I'm the world's #1 sidekick. I have to be unique. It also aids in my reputation to some degree. While reputation isn't the focus for me, presentation lends itself to that. And people know me to be extravagant and attention-seeking and flamboyant. And I am all of these things. I'm an artist, after all. And he jokes laughs a little bit at his own joke, and the dungeon master cries a little bit at their own joke. And he turns it on you guys eventually, and he's gonna ask everyone. But I'm only gonna focus on the 4 of you because I'm never gonna do every student, unless there's one in particular that I want to bring up. Robin, do you have any ideas for the presentation of your costume, or even the function?
I was thinking about doing some sort of a here we are, a cloak of bolas and needles and smoke bombs, because I'm able to, like, use projectiles really well. I wanted to have them always available to me. It's more of a function than a...
So, density control, and you have a cloak full of objects. So, try to find a middle ground with the theming, because what you have is a good functional idea, and now if you can work that into the idea of the hero you wish to present as, it will tie together and ultimately be better both for your publicity and your functionality in combat, as you will sacrifice neither at the benefit of the other. Miss Imora, certainly you have ideas.
Plenty. Oh, don't get me started. I want my costume to be sleek. I want it to be athletic. I want it to stay out of the way. And I was also thinking of the potential for it to be made of self-regenerating fabric, very similar to my own skin, that after a fight I want to look like I'm in perfect condition so that no one ever thinks that they, not necessarily that they land a punch on me, that they land a punch that matters. And I also want a utility belt. They're classic, they go far, and my power has a lot of gaps. And I want to cover those with a variety of tools.
Very important to recognize, again, both functionality and appearance. For the utility belt, you've mentioned sleek and athletic. A utility belt is clunky and large, so perhaps see if there's any augmentations, not to the sleek design, but more to the exterior. Small things, be it shoulder pads or raised knuckle guards, something that makes it so the utility belt is very similar to the rest of the apparel. Highlights, as it were, and he shimmers. Mr. Tonu.
Do you want to go for function or form first?
Whatever you wish to talk about.
For form, nothing covering the face. No mask, no hood, nothing. I want people to know that it's me. Nothing as far as capes or anything interfering, because as far as looks at the wetsuit he's currently wearing, this is kind of close, at least the closest I can get so far. It's insulating, it is aerodynamic, and when people look, they know it's me. Because I want them to know that I'm the one that's me, for lack of a better term. And then on the boots, because gloves, again, for insulation, put some weights on the boots that are detachable. So if I have to launch or throw something, then I've got some material to throw that I can carry with me.
So you want to stay aerodynamic and recognizable, but I have a feeling that the wetsuit, while functionally appropriate, is not visibly very inspiring or heroic. Perhaps there is a form similar to the wetsuit you're wearing that functions identically, but has a little more polish and shine to it.
Well, we'd have to customize it and get the colors. We got to go with red.
And why red?
Red catches people's eyes.
And all of the roses dazzle for a second. I know exactly what you're talking about.
And then something bold, so I'm thinking black, with that leading to a G in the middle. Belt, because you have to have a belt, but I'm not sure what to have on the belt. Probably keys to get home. Probably a phone.
Solar Flare snorts.
But everyone's got to have a belt, so have a belt, even though you don't really need one for a wetsuit, so it's a hero thing. You gotta have a belt.
He looks down to his, like, keeping his, high-waisted bell bottoms up, and he's like, "You're not wrong." Very well. We will find the medium for form and function for you. And, Allie.
She, pulls out, it's just, a folder with a zillion different sketches and mood boards inside.
Mood boards.
Yeah.
Big mood.
I admit I haven't thought a lot about function or augmentation. I know I want something that stores and carries blood, so that way I don't necessarily have to take it out of people to use it. I already have a supply. As far as look, fairly simple and movable in, not quite athletic, almost maybe formal wear-ish. Pantsuit. Think pantsuit.
He's like, I'm always thinking pantsuit.
Pantsuit. I think no mask, because I thought of a very particular way of decorating my wings to add to the costume and the name I'm thinking of, and the wings will already identify me, so there's no point in hiding my face. White would Robin did make the point that the blood would sort of show, so I've been thinking gold. Too much gold would be maybe tacky. Copper or silver might work.
Copper. There's something to be said there. With, to be blunt, blood tasting like copper.
Yeah, there is that too. I hadn't thought of that part, honestly.
Well, it's an association people will make if you carry the color.
So possibly white, but possibly something that doesn't stain easily, because I can remove blood from clothing. That's easy compared to the rest of it.
So, a big part of your costume design, theoretically, for now, is form over function. If you're worried, as you are, about form, because you are going to be one of the heroes who is, admittedly, judged very harshly for your presentation, the thing I would keep in mind is a way to conceal those blood banks you're carrying with you. They're effective and incredibly versatile, and I think a wonderful idea. Now it's just a matter of, if you're worried about presentation, either embracing that entirely or hiding it completely. And either is correct, but if you find yourself in the middle, you will find naysayers on both sides.
Thank you.
And he nods and continues with the rest of the students. Everyone's got ideas. Lenny is dumbstruck as to what hers has to be because,
Good
boy.
God, what does it have to be?
Yeah.
The mother of all spandex.
She's like, basically anything I wear I'm going to stretch out. And if I don't stretch out, I'm going to stretch thin. If I don't stretch thin, I'm going to rip. And she's like going off and off and off and off. Before he's like, we'll come up with something. Because future tech hand wave. And Kurt is the other standout. He goes, I don't want a costume. I want to present as me for the time being. I'm working on the idea of a costume, but we all know how I feel about being a hero. I don't feel I'm exactly up to chuff. And I don't want to pretend to be anything I'm not, or anything I don't feel like I am. You said part of a costume is what we aspire to be. I don't aspire to be anything other than myself. And so I think people will identify me by my equipment, and a costume will do me very little good. Perhaps just my style and wardrobe, but more flexible and athletic. But ultimately, no costume. I don't want to... As a few of you don't want a mask, I don't want anything. Just me. And that's his little spiel, and it's the only other one that really stands out. I mean, everyone's got things to say, but his stand out. And then if anyone had anything they wanted to raise a hand for and how to be here, we can do that. But otherwise, we're going to move to psychology after our players take a quick water break. Water and bathroom break if anyone needs it.
I have no idea what color my costume's gonna be.
Red.
Everyone's in red. It's our team color.
Everyone except Allie over here.
You will be covered in red.
Unfortunately.
The red's coming.
It is.
No, I was legitimately thinking red and black, but
They're classic hero combinations.
they are.
Is what Isaac's doing.
Yeah.
But also, I don't know.
Join the alley train. Go in white, that'll be covered in red
Alley
by the
train.
end.
I've always thought of Robin's color generally being like burgundy and bronze.
I like that.
I'm sketching out like little thoughts of like, do I want a mask? Do I want like maybe boxing gloves that I could make super dense to like hit people with?
That's hilarious.
Do I want? I think I want large boots with jets so that I can adjust my vector of flight while
Ooh.
going.
That's fun.
Ooh, like, or even the thing that comes to mind for me is just like effectively what astronauts do, which is little contained air pressure strings.
Air pressures. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Just that sort of.
Just one in any direction or axis, so you can float around
to
at the speed of sound. Places to go. Gotta follow your rainbow.
Mm-hmm.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
Yeah, that sort of thing. I think Robin does want a mask, though.
Rin definitely has a mask.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's classic.
You two are going classic hero, and the others are like, no, we're contemporary heroes.
Mm-hmm.
So we have physics, biology, classic, contemporary.
Nice!
Pretty much.
Pretty much.
I think I want Rin's. The only thing that I know is I want Rin's utility belt to be gold because she's a champion.
Yeah,
Hey,
she
I like it.
is.
But that's all I got. Because boxers wear all kinds of colors. Maybe white. I think white's not a bad choice.
I'm gonna use the restroom while
Yeah, everyone, water break, bathroom break,
the
go for
time
it.
is.
Put up a break screen.
Yeah, let's throw up a break screen real quick.
Did not do a good job of putting up a break screen when I broke.
Oh, that's okay. That's okay.
Yeah.
We all right. We didn't realize it was gonna be a group break.
Maybe white and red. White, red, and gold. I think that's a solid combo.
Perfect.
It's very striking.
Ken, you still there?
Break screen, we're on a break screen. Do, do, do. Ba-dum, bum, bum, ba, ba, da, da, ba, da,
Every time I
ba,
imagine
ba,
your
da.
hero costume, for some reason I always imagine you with a top hat.
Hi, Ken. How are you?
I can understand why you would.
What's up,
White
Ken?
and red for the Japanese flag.
Let's
Oh, that's really cute. Yeah.
That's pretty solid.
I like that a lot, actually.
That's pretty solid.
Oh my god! And then on her back, she can literally just have the red dot with the U and the C for uppercut in it.
Oh, yes.
That's amazing. You're amazing.
Or wait. Can I do this somehow? Can I?
Maybe.
Okay, so I actually have scratch paper. So U
Oh, you're gonna rough draft it?
C. Basically, I just want the U and the C to be the red dot.
Oh, you're gonna work on designing that?
Yeah.
I can see one way of doing it. I'll draw a mock-up for you. Yeah, no, that looks like an A. That's a tough one.
It is tough because they're both round letters already.
They're both round and open.
Do you know? Because that's Will Copy.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh,
that was
yeah.
that was
No, I know. He's my Christine Daae.
Phantom of the Opera, have you seen?
Oh, okay. I have not seen the film, but I know enough about the story.
Yeah, he sang Christine's part at the last party I saw him at. I sang Phantom and he sang Christine.
I love it.
So
I
he's
ship
my
it.
Christine Daae.
So I can't get the shape right, but I
It's-
know like
Did
the
you
gist
know
of what
that?
I'm looking for.
Yes,
I think
briefly.
Court and I probably
there was
know
a
way
little
better.
bit of I didn't like know him, but there was a little bit of overlap, so I recognize his face.
Okay, that's Will. Will Copy.
Cool. We'll copy.
Something,
Sorry.
something like
Break
this,
screen.
but with tighter
Break
openings,
screen.
because then they can form sort of a
You know
circle.
him?
That's tough.
I know. I'll do some more drafting.
He was the one who was visiting the chat.
I'll get something because like I have the image in my brain. I'm like I can make this work. I just can't get it on paper yet.
They don't have the Phantom of the Opera on Netflix anymore. Neither the 25th anniversary Albert Hall nor the less exciting movie.
Yeah.
I am saddened.
I can make it a square, but I can't.
I could do a square as well. A square wouldn't be a bad choice.
Because the top of the C can round off the top of the U.
Yeah, because I mean she's not trying to be like I am Japan.
They'd have to be very cartoon bubbly letters if you specifically wanted them in a circle.
That's what I was like shooting for, but I can't get them quite circular enough.
Alrighty. Are we all back?
I'm so. Oh, I'm gonna grab myself some water. While we're
Okay,
here.
that's my quick idea.
That's not bad. I like that. It also looks kind of like a ring.
Yep.
May I see?
Yeah. He wanted a U and a C, and I just put the circle around it. Made him very blocky. Put the circle around it.
The fingers over the drawing.
Nice. This one. This one. This one.
Okay.
His idea. Theoretically, it would
Let me
be
see.
more rectangular.
Visual design.
Mm-hmm.
Something like that.
So
That's better. Because that's
Got it.
yeah.
Cool.
This is mock-up. Because I'll have fun helping y'all create these too. And we are back. Welcome back. Anyone who was listening on the break screen, you didn't miss anything because you were listening on the break screen.
Hey.
And we're going to move to psychology with the mesmerist Virgil Cowell. As Rin blindfolds herself, and Kurt puts on his headset, and you pull out your
Paddle.
your paddle and you set out your blocks. Everyone settles in, and Virgil is wearing his costume. The mesmerist costume. As he is
What?
effectively, it is a sleek black featureless suit. You can't even see the seams for the button, but it is perfectly tailored and fits every part of his body to the like crease. He's not in particular in great shape, but like you can see little bits of toning throughout. He does have some physical prowess. He had to. And his glasses are off, and his eyes, he's got contacts in instead. And as opposed to like the very thin glasses that he sometimes wore, or the contacts that he sometimes wore which weren't colored, he has colored contacts as the mesmerist, as both of the irises have been replaced with white. You still see pupil. I'm sorry, other way around. You still get iris, but no pupil. So still the brown rings, but nothing inside of them. His hair is nothing different, except it's a little more polished. Like, it's not as wild as it usually is. Not that his hair is wild, but usually it's unkempt. It's just a little cleaner. Everything about him is just a little more presentable, and the only noticeable difference is that of the eyes. Hello, everyone. Welcome to psychology. There's a visual aspect, so I would like at the very least, Rin, for you to get a quick glance of my costume before you reblind yourself.
No.
I require that you get a quick glance.
No.
Then it is your education you inhibit, and I have done my job as a teacher. Very well. So, initial assessments of my wardrobe. Discuss. And this is me looking at the players very quickly. Yes.
Unnerving.
Yes.
Draws you to look at the eyes.
There we go. Immediately. Everything else is featureless and precise and in place. It is a little too in place. You cannot see the seams. You cannot see anything but my silhouette and my shape. I am an enigma. I am a presence. I am not a person, and you are drawn to my eyes.
Paddle says yes.
And he chuckles at that.
Oh god.
So, today we're talking about not just the function, or not just the form, but the function. This class will focus more on function. It will focus on what form and function particularly do to your reputation. People had never met me. People have never met me. Many people only know my name. And the few who have seen me have only seen me like this. With the exception, obviously, as I've taught here. But this appearance was simple. There's one other aspect, and that's that ultimately I'm not hiding. I'm not afraid. I'm not afraid of what they're doing. Certainly I act in the shadows, but if I came face to face with a hero, I'm just a human. I'm just a superhuman as they are, but I'm just me. I don't have any grandois. I don't have any flair or fashion like solar flare. People see me and they see a human. They have this idea of me as this incredible, almighty, omnipotent supervillain. They have this idea of me as this mass manipulator cackling behind my curtain. And I present as this, and all they get is my face, my eyes, and my smile. And for the first time that you have ever seen, Virgil grins. It is unnerving. His teeth are slightly filed, just enough so that he has that sort of razor maw effect. They see I am a person, not some high tower villain, but they believe me to be that, and so when I confront them on that idea the first time they see me, suddenly I have another advantage. What they have learned through my reputation and what they are met with are one and the same but different. I am unnerving. I am doing the functional things, drawing them to my eyes, unnerving them with the sleek attire and the seamless silhouette. But again, highlighting that I am not some immortal being. And when you build someone up to be and you are faced with a man instead of a god, you question your belief. You question what you know, you question everything you know, even for the briefest moment. And in that brief moment, I win. So, reputation, and what it can do and how function and form serve that. The reputation I desired was as presented. I was not a coward, but I did let others do my work for me. Was the norm with my powers. He pauses for a moment to think about what he's about to say. There's also unnerved other villains. Many villains hid intentionally. They didn't want their crimes being traced back to them. I didn't care. They met me not hiding. It intimidated them. It intimidated other villains simply by my bravado. There are examples I'd like to discuss aside from myself, however. The theme today, and he gestures to his apparel and grins again. And again, a chill through everyone's spine as your skin tingles, except for Rin. And Isaac, who's literally fearless because he has the trait.
Mm-hmm.
Damn.
And, up until now I haven't considered it, but I've hand-waved Ramona's power in every class. I'm not gonna consider it. I'm gonna say that somehow the classrooms have been set up to accommodate.
Wabluminum.
No, Wabluminum is the architect. I'm gonna say that she basically has a monitor for every class. Like,
Little iPad.
she has a monitor and is usually far enough removed, or there's like enough lights around her seat that it doesn't distract the rest of the classroom. Cool. Figured out that mystery real quick. Let's look at a couple other examples. And he pulls up like a projector and slides and begins going through other heroes throughout.
Projector and a bed sheet.
What?
Sorry. Reference from my childhood.
We'll go over
Veggie
it.
Tales, if it ever matters.
Oh, no, it will.
It's coming up.
Yeah, you guys don't know how to take notes about the meta for a perfect villain that I have coming down the line.
Oh dear.
I'm joking.
Oh, where is my camera?
Same idea.
Yeah, I have a villain called the Veggie Tail. No.
He threatens children into going vegan. But like, not just like arguing it gently. He's like, no, this is it.
If you don't eat this banana, I will kill you.
Exactly.
No, if you don't eat this banana, you will never find your hairbrush again. And so he goes through a couple other heroes throughout history, and a couple other villains throughout history, and explains the reputation surrounding them, so on and so forth. He goes into the VR-cade and his fancy suit, and how his whole thing was flair and personality and distraction, and specifically illusion. His powers were illusory in nature, and you're not sure if he's bringing it up because it's important and topical, or if this is just the lesson. But his outfit ultimately distracts you from what he's doing. It is gaudy and tacky and flashy and showy, because he also had a bit of that, like, loves to put on a good show, and so on and so forth. He goes through every villain that was named on the news. Maybe it's his subtle nod of, I know what's going on, we know what's going on, we're all in the same camp here. Or maybe just to flaunt something in front of everyone. You're not really sure. But psychology goes off without a hitch. Otherwise, despite one person literally not using their eyes in a class that is specifically tailored for presentation today.
Get with it, Ramona.
Eat it. Eat my shorts. And we're gonna move to lunch. Roll for initiative, everybody.
19.
3.
7.
21.
All right,
Nice.
Rin, you get to your table quick, and the heavy eaters coalesce around you. Is there anyone in particular you'd like to talk to today?
Rin's chilling, actually.
Cool.
She's having a particularly somber day.
Okay, Rin's having a somber day. Would you like to do any sort of roleplay, given that you just said a somber day, or would you like me to...
If there is roleplay that you have planned, please thrust it upon me. But Rin is not seeking out other people this lunch, is what I should say.
Okay. In general, then, it's just the heavy eaters, and specifically, Kyrie is getting very competitive. Not with the eating, but she's like, so, I don't know what you guys had. If you guys have had psychology yet, okay, we have it first period. It's miserable, and
Sucks, actually.
Virgil, what a weird. Clearly he knows what he's doing, but I almost want to say a childish costume.
Sure.
I don't know. It didn't intimidate or scare me. You feel the same way, I'm certain.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know. It just.
You thought he'd be scarier?
Yeah, I thought he'd be scarier. I don't know. Maybe it's because we're at a hero school and some of us just have the right mentality to approach that. Maybe it's because we didn't grow up with the reputation that he has, but the shadow of the reputation. We were all babies when he was doing his things.
Well, the whole point of his costume is that he doesn't look scary. It's the purpose.
He said that. Both to unnerve, but also, yeah.
Unnerved doesn't mean you're scary. It means you're thrown off guard.
Yeah, and he definitely did do that. The eyes were the weirdest part for me.
Sure.
What do you mean, sure?
Sure.
What do you mean, sure?
If you're gonna willingly look that man in the eyes after you know who he is, that's your fault.
I mean, I didn't, like, look in the eyes. I just noticed them.
What color were they?
They weren't. I mean, they were brown, but they weren't.
So you looked in his eyes.
No, not, like, directly.
You sure?
I carry a mirror.
You said backwards in his class?
Yes.
That's awesome!
After he gave his thing about how his power works, or what we think his power works, like, I
Does the
don't...
mirror work?
I mean, I look at him with it.
Oh, I don't look at him at all.
Like, I kind of, like, cheat half his face with it.
I wonder if he gets both eyes.
I have no idea, and I don't want to test it. We could ask Kara.
Ooh, a good question for Kara.
Mm-hmm.
Does he need both eyes? Does it have to be direct eye contact?
But aside from that,
Could he do it through a window?
I'm really looking for... When the school festival comes up, I really hope I get a chance to fight you.
I'd love to fight you!
Yeah, but I mean,
Why wait?
like we've got our club, you know, every day, but
No, I mean for everybody I'd love to fight you.
What?
You're one of the only people whose counter to my powers I can't hit you.
Yeah.
So I'd love to fight you second.
Yeah, I don't want to be the first. I want a bit of a show, actually.
I want to blow somebody to pieces before I fight you.
Yeah. And I'd like a bit of spectacle and build up beforehand. I want to build up the idea that we have a rivalry.
Ooh! I'm good at those. Not good at losing them, but I'm good at them.
We'll see. And the rivalry begins.
So, here's my plan, actually. So, I'm thinking that, and then Rin, like, kind of boils down this plan of how she wants the sports festival to go, and she wants her first fight to be, basically the first thing she does at the sports festival, she's like, I want it to be explosive. I want the very first thing I do to be monumental. I want everyone to immediately know the strength that I'm capable of, so that then when I fight someone like you, everyone knows the odds you are fighting against immediately. Every time I swing a punch, they know in the back of their head I could blow you to pieces with it. Mm-hmm. So you dodging it is that much more impressive. Mm-hmm. And then I want to punch you anyway.
Good luck.
I don't need luck.
12 days?
And then she just starry eyes into the distance.
Mm-hmm. Cool, that's where we'll cut yours.
Solar flare sparkles go off.
And then we'll move over to Tonu with the 19. Did you have anything in particular you wanted to get done?
Yeah. Hang back in psychology class. You gonna change out of that now?
I have a full day of classes.
Oh, you still gotta be in there.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And as much as I might hate to say it, it feels good to wear this again.
Why?
You build an identity around your appearance for years.
You think you still have that identity?
Don't I?
Maybe we have a different version of it in our heads now. But I don't think you do.
You're one of the few, Mr. Tonu, and I'm not going to admonish or reward you for that line of thought. But you are welcome to it.
You want to get dinner again later?
Not tonight.
Okay.
Thank you.
Enjoy the rest of your day.
I will do my best. And this is a genuine smile, as opposed to the grin that was put on earlier. It's just a smirk. His teeth don't flash. It's just a corner of the mouth raised, ever so slightly.
And I go to lunch.
Mm-hmm.
You're so wholesome.
Yeah, it is disgusting.
It
wholesome he
is.
is.
Ah!
And was there any student you wanted to approach in particular, or was it just that little bit with,
The result of that means I cannot pursue that right now. So.
Oh.
So yeah. I will take if there's anything ready for me other than.
Nope. Today was pretty much free for you guys.
Cool.
So then the next we had a 7 and a 2.
Yeah.
Allie.
Vaguely Ryan, but I like Allie has nothing that she would approach him with, so I don't think that she would. Exactly. So I don't know that she would approach
Ryan
him.
will approach you. As he sits down next to you. Hey,
Hello.
your wings. They're different.
And she spreads them a little bit. No, she doesn't go full length because there's kids sitting around.
She just fucking knocks people's trays off.
14 foot
Move! I'm
wingspan.
showing off! Uh-huh. I'm trying to go for a stained glass kind of a thing.
Mm-hmm.
Kept your name on it, though.
I saw. That's actually what I wanted to say was thank you for that.
Yeah.
Because you're going for your thing, but I'm all...
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it was how you were remembered first by me, at least. And that matters, so I wanted to keep it. It's also got your phone number, though I don't know. You've got a different phone number now.
Oh.
School phone numbers, I think?
Yeah. I mean, you also have this number, so you can change that.
But that's the one that you wrote down. I've just been tracing over it again.
And he puts it away and puts it in his pocket.
Cute.
So are you drawing like more cartoonish forget-me-nots, or like anatomically, but not, but
I'm laughing at the pronunciation.
no, I'm trying to.
Anatomically is correct.
No, I was trying to think of similar thing, but for
botanical?
botany. Botanical. Thank you.
botanically
That's what I was thinking. I was like, that's not right. Botanically is not the word I want.
Yeah, it is.
Cool. Or were you going more like botanically correct, maybe?
I have no idea.
I'll try both.
I mean, I'd only, forget-me-nots, I know it's the name of a flower, but I hadn't really considered it until Ren mentioned it, so I haven't really looked at what a forget-me-not looks like.
Oh, well, and Allie, just pulls out her sketchbook, flips to a page that's nothing but different flower types. They're this one.
Huh.
Little tiny blue flowers.
Tiny and blue. I have ideas.
And then just the rest of lunch is eating and drawing flowers.
Yeah, no, he starts sketching up a costume design. And we're gonna move to Ms. Lewis.
I want to specifically invite Ramona to sit
She will.
with me and Jareth.
Sure. And he's like, so you invited who? And then it goes dark. Got it. Hey.
Hey Ramona.
Hey.
Um,
And you hear people get up and move.
Rude.
Eating in the dark sucks.
Oh.
Unless that's
They're
what we
weak.
wanted. It's actually a lot of fun.
Rin ate in the dark last night.
It's actually a lot of fun. There's a place here in LA for it. Like pitch black, all the servers are blind.
Oh, yeah, you told me about that.
It's so cool.
That way the flavors come up more.
Also, you just don't know what you're eating. It's fun.
That sounds so cool. I really do want to do that. That sounds wicked.
I think we should just get the group and do it.
I made something for you, and I don't know if I should give it to you or if I should just hang on to it and then break it out whenever you might need it.
What did you make?
It's just like a little kit for dealing with anxiety in the moment. It's got like a lot of different like sensory things if you just like need different textures, or it's also got like band-aids if like that's at all
what this is. Anyone's welcome to investigate it if you want. That's the sensory stim kit.
and like it's got like some things to fidget with, like it's got this little cube that's got like this is like a little analog stick and like basically clicking a pen, buttons kind of thing. So yeah.
That's a thermal towel in particular in case the environment is uncomfortable. But everything else in there is this is a real world prop that I have that correlates with what Ilona created. Everything in there is like non-discrete, and that you can have most of it and people won't it won't draw attention. But they also work for the different kinds of sensory stimulation you might need, be it texture, sound, temperature, if you need to numb things, stuff like that, and they're all inconspicuous. Yeah.
That's wonderful.
And Ilona was making that, and I was like, wow, oh, okay, yeah, cute. Cute. And she's like, oh, I guess I'll take it.
Yeah? Okay. Hands the bag into the deeper darkness.
It gets grabbed eventually, and she takes it. And she's like, cool. Cool, thanks.
Yeah.
I don't really know how to respond, but I do mean it. Thank you.
No, you're fine. It's nothing that I think I've ever really dealt with, so I did a lot of research.
Thank you. And the little light you can see from her dims. And she just sets it down, and you guys continue your food.
Mm-hmm.
She's less anxious now.
Mm-hmm.
Got it. I was like, what?
She's dying.
Someone walked out the door of the lunchroom, so it's one less person looking at her, so it's less light.
Jarrett's like, so what just happened? And that's the comedic beat we'll transition with. As we make our way into combat theory, with Kara in her uniform. And as far as combat theory, she just kind of goes into, like, the basics of if someone's uniform is augmenting their power, you can win by destroying their uniform. Don't rely on your uniform as a result. Have it help you, but it is nothing more than an ace up the sleeve for when you need it. And do not be over the top with usage of it. Otherwise, everyone will know it is the ace up the sleeve and will actively work around it. And you will probably build a reliance on it if you continue to do that. And you don't want to. That's the gist of combat theory. And then PE, where Duplex is in the exact same uniform she's been in every day. She has not come in her costume. It is literally the purple leotard with the gold trim and the, like, wrestling mask and her hair in a wild mane.
I like to imagine it's the moment, just like, opens up the closet and that's all that's in the closet.
No, she just
has a zillion copies of that suit.
like, everyone comes in, she's like, hey, how you doing? So, everyone came in their costume today, and there's a couple of teachers that you're more than welcome to go look at. When we're not in class. I've always come in my costume. Anyone have an idea as to why that is, given the lessons you've learned today?
It's easy to move in.
Yeah.
It copies?
Yep. Alright, so y'all learned about presentation and reputation, and, spoiler alert, I'm a pro wrestler! This is who I am. Every single day. And, yeah, I don't come out of it. I mean, I do. I have many copies of it. I wash them. They're not gross. I promise you, they're not gross. I'd hate to be smelly in a grapple. But, yeah, that's all I had to say before we punch the shit out of each other. So we're gonna do that now.
Yay!
And if there's any students that anyone wanted to particularly fight, you're welcome to. But otherwise, this is just a general PE class, prepping and going over your basic routines. And Allie is raising a hand.
I kind of want to fight you. Because I don't think I do well in a fight against you, and I need to learn how terribly I do in a fight against you.
Ooh, okay.
Because you do the Z-axis thing, which means I can't get out of your reach, and you're super dodgy. It makes you really hard to pin down. So I'd like to see just how badly I'll fail so I can get better.
Okay, do you need to mechanically roll that out? Because
I don't think so.
Okay, because
No,
right now
that would
Isaac
rocket
is a
tag,
hard
and
counter
that's
to you.
not- Yeah, that would be I'd roll, and first round I'd get clobbered.
Right
which
now,
is
Isaac-
exactly what happens.
Yeah, right now Isaac is a hard counter to Allie's build.
Uh-huh.
He is dodgy and mobile and can knock you out in a second.
And that's exactly what happens. And Allie gets up and says thank you.
Yep, it happens so that mechanically and flavor-wise, we have reasons for you to develop future powers.
Yes.
May I flavor the approach?
Yeah, absolutely.
It's like, okay. I mean, cool. Maybe a little condition though. You got markers, right?
Yes.
Can I take one and you take one?
Oh, you're playing paintball.
Just so that you know when you've been hit and I know when I've been hit. So we don't actually have to punch each other in the face.
I don't punch people in the face is the thing. I don't know how I'd use the marker on you.
Okay. Can I just borrow one from you?
Fill the
Yes,
marker
you
with
can.
blood.
This is my blood color.
It's just a floating marker somewhere else.
Where the ink has been replaced with blood, yes.
And so instead of like getting punched, you just get markered on. And just like every time that a hit goes through, it's just
Yep, and it's pretty consistent.
so that you don't have to sock each other in the face.
Yep.
Okay, that's fair.
I want to fight
it.
Ramona.
If it just
You want to fight Ramona?
I want to fight Ramona.
Okay, do you want to roll it out?
If I would
Vaguely.
you'd have to
Okay.
beat a
Not like
26.
play by play, but I want
I'd have to roll.
Rin to continue down this
I'd
path
have to roll
of
for it.
fighting a foe she can't look at.
Okay.
So, in fact, she's going to ask that people don't spectate and that she doesn't look directly at Ramona so the corona doesn't form.
Mm-hmm.
She is explicitly trying to fight in the dark here.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
Absolutely. Just roll a general fighting check.
16, I believe that totals out to, with just general fighting. Yeah.
Okay. So you make your way into this corona, and you feel hands grasping at you here and there, but you recognize them as intangible. Like there's a physical. It's like this. It's tugs and pulls, but none of them ever physically grab you. And eventually you kind of make your way to the epicenter, and like you get to Ramona, and like she does start to glow a little bit because you are looking at part of her, and she is anxious. And with that fighting roll, you overcome her parry. She succeeds theoretically pretty well on a lot of her toughness checks, but she gets nervous pretty quick, as you are physically probably the strongest in the class.
Oh, Ren is 100% fighting with just like 2 fingertips.
Well, even those 2 fingertips
Oh,
carry
yeah.
the force of a bullet.
Oh, yeah.
And so she's terrified, and her anxiety begins to overwhelm her, and you watch as the dark begins to close in. And like she's still visible, but like her eyes start to go a little wide. She's coping, but she's anxious and like she's doing this teeter-totter on the edge of a panic attack, trying to find this middle ground where she's still capable of using the other part of her power and maintaining some reticence. And you finally land a good blow, and it just skids her back a little bit, and it's like the shadows cling and then pull off of her, and the creature takes form. The 6 foot 3 feet talons forms, and immediately you watch as, for the first time that anyone can tell, it rips a glob of itself off and throws it at Ramona, and she a pillar of like pitch black surrounds her. Nobody can see in or out of it, and it goes, "Hello."
Hi. You were not my intention.
Well, I'm here.
I noticed that. And that's a problem.
For you.
And Rin will actually fight the shadow.
Yeah, so we'll roll for initiative against the shadow.
Dope.
That's a 20.
Okay, let me find
Dirty
my
20,
stat
baby.
block for Ramona's shadow. Because it specifically has a stat block.
Nyx brings out.
Ah, shit.
What?
It's a 75 ability array.
Yee.
Ramona's shadow.
Would you like?
Oh, yes, please. Thank you.
Yes, please. And what did you roll for your initiative?
20.
20.
You're first.
Yay. So,
I have a bunch.
And everyone is now watching.
I don't mind that everyone's watching now. This is a different fight now. All right, so first test, is this thing intangible? So I'm basically just going to like leap at it and one very solid kick straight through its midsection.
Go roll versus parry.
I'm actually gonna roll an accurate attack for this.
Are you doing any bluffs first?
I can't until I've already tried to hit them.
Okay.
Because they have to have an idea of how she fights.
Yeah,
With the
I have to have a way to fake them out. That
You
is
did not.
a-
Just a heads up, you didn't declare 1 or 2 on the accurate attack.
We'll just do one then. So that's a 17 to hit.
17 exceeds its parry of 16.
Hey, so then that'll be a damage rank of 20.
Total toughness check, I'm assuming.
Yes. Damage rank 20.
Damage rank
DC
20.
35.
35, yeah.
It's gonna suffer 1 wound. It is
Nice.
Yeah.
So I can hit it. We've learned something.
Nice.
Yeah, you connect pretty
As that
tangibly.
foot connects, and Rin visibly is like, oh.
Okay.
And as you hit it, as a reaction, the visibility around the both of you drops 1 level, effectively. Like the aura that surrounds Ramona now surrounds it, and it is reducing visibility around the two of
This
you.
is exactly what I wanted.
It's going to go ahead and lash out at you.
Please do.
This is just flavor. This isn't a mechanical
Yeah.
thing. This is flavor to justify the mechanics it has on its attack. as its talons come ripping in, they ripple in and out of the shadows surrounding it, and it's so hard to tell where the talons actually are, or if the talons are even real, and what you're supposed to be protecting against.
Oh, that's wretched. I love it.
Does a 22 exceed your parry?
A little bit.
Okay, make me a toughness check and a will save.
Un poquito. The toughness check is 23.
So no wounds.
Will save is a 12.
Okay, so you are entranced. And entranced specifically... you're stunned, but you can pay attention to the entrancing effect. So, it works a little differently than straight up entranced. Effectively, you cannot attack Ramona anymore.
Oh, I'm okay with that. I didn't want to attack Ramona.
Yes, but just mechanically, that's what its
Okay.
its first affliction rank is.
That's fine.
You cannot attack Ramona.
Okay. It's basically taunt.
Mm-hmm. And Ramona regenerates.
You go, Ramona. Live your truth.
And turn order shifts back to you.
Okay, and now Rin is still like that mid-kick as that blow kind of... And the skin immediately regenerated, but her eyes like...
Yeah,
like,
just so you're aware of the flavor, it also feels a little bit like a panic attack.
And that's when a normal person would switch to fear, that Rin switches to fury.
Yeah.
She's like, you don't touch my thoughts. And that palm is coming straight for its chin with the fake out.
Mm-hmm.
Would a 22 hit its thing, its parry?
Yes.
All right, so then it needs to make a will save for me.
Mm-hmm.
DC 16.
It fails by 1 degree exactly.
So it is vulnerable. Its defenses are cut in half.
Cool.
And then Rin is going to be -3 power attacking. Just
Cool.
no. I said that I would always power attack before, so not power attacking.
You just declared before you rolled, so it's
No,
fine.
I mean before I even roll the fake out. I need to roll
Got
how
it.
Rin is swinging.
Got it.
So no power attacks on this. So that's fine because it still only told us up to an 8.
8 does not hit its av defenses.
As Rin gets that and tries to just uppercut this thing to
So
hell.
as you go for this, the talons sort of flicker in and out, and they like phase through your leg. They don't hurt you, but like it's enough to physically pull, like you jerk your leg back as a reaction. And that's the flavor for its parry. And the light level around the two of you drops 1 more, and it is going to go to its turn, and it stops for a moment. And you just hear, "Do you wish her harm?"
Just you.
It moves over to her.
You bitch! I'll fight her if it means I have to fight you!
And you watch as it pulls back up to its stature and turns around.
I already started.
You leave her alone. And it teleports.
Ugh!
The shadows that it
Shit.
has created, it just... And behind you.
Nothing personnel, kid.
22 is gonna hit.
Yeah, it is.
Make me a toughness check and a will
Rolls
save.
last time.
Yeah.
Toughness is another 23.
So you take no wounds.
Will save is natural 20.
Okay. So the previous condition ends.
She just...
You can attack Ramona now.
Yeah, you can attack Ramona if you want.
And then for the fake out, she's basically going to do a spinning elbow to try and hit it in the
Sure.
chin. Ooh, an
Nope.
11's probably not going to hit. And then that elbow is just going to the other elbow coming
Sure.
in straight down. An 18 to hit?
18 does hit.
Sweet, so that's a damage rank 21.
Nat 20.
Oh!
As the visibility drops 2 levels, and you are now treated as in concealment 4. So you are blind.
Fuck.
You cannot see where it is.
Okay. I'm gonna
Everything around it is as dark as it is.
Alright.
This is what you wanted, kid.
It's exactly
For
what I
everyone
wanted.
outside of this, the nimbus surrounding Ramona, yes.
Didn't you request that no one was allowed to watch?
I did request that no one was watching.
But
at
when
first,
when the
but then
shadow
when
appeared,
crazy
everyone,
shit started
everyone-
happening, everyone was probably like, oh shit.
Yeah.
Okay.
I did narrate that everyone was like, what? The pillar around Ramona has turned into one of light.
Oh.
As the
Full
the-
rapture.
Yeah, she's coated in light, and her eyes are like exactly that. They're pure white, no iris, no pupil, as she's just kind of hovering there in this light. And
I'm fighting in darkness.
this thing is going to swing at you again. It's gonna go ahead and make an accurate attack,
Shit. Fuck. Shit.
but a 4 does not do it.
As this is exactly what Rin wanted. As they go in the dark, and she's like. And now I'm assuming I have to roll perception to find where he is, or am I just rolling against a mischance? How does concealment work?
So concealment 4 effectively treats you as vulnerable, like, visually unaware based on the way this thing modifies concealment as a mechanic. So you cannot make a perception check to find him.
Okay, at least not with sight.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yes.
So in that case, I'm gonna power stunt.
Okay.
So instead of throwing these fake outs at a thing she can't find, she's instead going to take that second to
Beyblade.
and she's gonna hone in on that killer sense that she's been developing slowly, so that I can power stunt fake out into a sustained precise hearing.
Okay.
So I can find this thing just based on sounds it makes, even if the sounds aren't crazy.
As it dodges.
Yes.
Okay.
And she just and goes to backfist wherever it is.
Yeah, make me No, it doesn't have the subtle modifiers on its movement yet. So
Damn it, I'm gonna have to get more crafty for fighting it in the future.
yes.
But right now I'm just gonna punch it.
Yep.
A 17 to hit?
17 hits.
Yes! DC 21.
That's gonna be 1 degree of failure, so it takes a second wound. And then, as you land that strike, concealment 5 would be what happens if it could go that low or that high, but visual
It's basically
concealment can't
Vantaflack
go-
now.
Visual concealment can't go above 4. And so as that strike connects, you feel that pulse of darkness, and the darkness is strong enough that just at the start of every turn from here on, I need you to make a will save. That being said, that would be the case, but the like pillar of light around Ramona, like there's teachers keeping students at bay because this is new, just disappears, and she lands on her feet, and the shadow disappears, and the darkness around you disappears.
What? I just landed a hit!
That means you won.
Ramona, are you okay?
Yeah, I'm fine. She doesn't seem phased in the slightest.
Good.
And for a brief moment, there's no light and no darkness. And then she starts to glow again, just a little bit, and that darkness begins to fill like a bubble.
And Rin, it's basically like this, her feet barely anchor her as she straight at Ramona, inches from her face as she good fight.
And we have almost seen all of Ramona's powers now.
Almost! She just hovered!
Yep.
Of light.
Yep.
That reminds me of my favorite fucking line from Jennifer's Body.
I,
Of she's literally in the air, like ethereal wind hitting her as she's floating at these two, and the guy's like, oh my god, she's flying, and the roommate's like, she's just hovering, it's not that impressive. And she's literally floating there covered in blood, and she's like, why do you have to undermine everything I do? And it's so underappreciated.
are there any of those treats left in that bag there?
It is now empty, unfortunately.
Okay. That's okay. I was avoiding brand name intentionally. That's
They've
okay.
been consumed.
That's okay. They've been consumed.
Good fight with Ramona. That was exactly what I wanted to justify my next level up.
Nice.
So, that moves us out of PE.
Unless Robin wanted to fight anyone?
Yeah, Robin?
Robin doesn't particularly want to fight anyone. She's mostly just working boxing drills with Jareth.
And Jareth is a little reckless in these drills. He hits you a couple times.
Cool.
Like,
What a bitch.
like not it's boxing drills, and then when you mess up enough, like clearly something in him is distracted and snaps, and he's like flip, and you put your hands up, and he just goes hard, knowing that you can take the hits. He throws a couple of like really hard ones, and when he can't break through this impenetrable barrier, like on this final strike, and this is a bit of tension between you two, as he's going for it, he magnetizes so that he like nearly hits another part of your body and then stops himself. Sorry. we should stop. I'm sorry.
It's okay. You didn't do anything, so.
No, but I almost did. I'm just tired of feeling powerless.
I get that. You're not.
I'm tired of feeling like my powers are useless. They have functioned once in the real world against someone whose power turned him into metal.
Only because you told me to take care of the other dude.
My point being, I feel myself lagging behind.
I have various ideas for ways that you could flex your power to do different. But I've always gotten the impression that you
I hate people telling me what to do,
Exactly.
so don't.
I wasn't.
Good. I have ideas. Don't think I'm without them.
I didn't.
That's what I feel when people tell me how to use my power, though.
Which
Is that they think little of me, that they look down on me. And I hate that. That also makes me feel powerless. So. Sorry again.
Again, it's okay. Just let me know how I can help.
When I figure that out, I will. But for now, Lenny! And he walks off to Lenny. And he's gonna duke it out with her for a bit.
Fair.
But this one, he's like, do you know what your breaking point is? Want to find it? And she's like, I mean, it hasn't been reached in a long time, and I've been doing a lot of durability testing and making sure that my coils are extra tight and extra strong, so, like, I think it'd be a really good idea since you use magnetism can rip something out ultimately at the atomic level if you haven't done that yet, and you just hear him go, shut up. At the moment she starts, like, she's not meaning any ill, she's just, she talks a lot, and she talks about ripping stuff apart at the atomic level with magnetism, and this is an idea that he doesn't like. He doesn't like being told what to do, as we've just learned. I mean, we all knew that, but he just explicitly stated it. And, like, she gets knocked around the room a good bit, as he does not hold back. He was looking for an outlet and got another agitator. And then we moved to clubs.
Lenny? Has he not met her before?
No, he has. Just
Yeah.
Rin is 100% going to offer an invite to SMMA to Ramona.
she's like, no,
Fair.
thanks so.
Next time.
No, thanks so.
I'll still offer.
So we have Z-Axis Club, Culinary Club, and our SMMA. Am I missing any? Those are the ones the players are in, right?
Technically, there's an art club that Aries created,
Oh,
but I
yeah.
don't know what we do there.
We're doing that today.
Okay, so like, I don't know what goes on there.
I want to stick with the initiative I already rolled, though, so Rin.
SMMA.
Yeah. The one character I couldn't find the name for was Lava Fists, so he's absent today.
I probably have his name written down if you want it.
After session. If it's not an easy note to find, then after session.
I don't have it. Okay.
Cool. After session. We'll look for it.
So
So he's absent today.
So-
And Kyrie specifically avoids fighting you.
understandable.
And starts shit talking you to the other SMA students. And like when you catch her eye, like you're not sure if she winked or her eye just blinked out. But
Rin, this is nothing like a rivalry Rin has ever had before. No one's ever shit talked her. Everyone's just always talked themselves up to be like, yeah, I could beat Rin. But like actually dismissing her, she's
what's up? Are you bothered? Cool, take it out on me when you'll, meet me
the ground
the
visibly
next-
just like
in the next bracket at the, sports festival. You can take out all your anger there. Yeah, I want you angry. I want you to hit hard. Hard as you can. 'Cause-
nails crack as her fists just
Oh, that's disgusting. See you there. And her fist flickers through yours.
Yep.
Haha. She just gives a little, like, as it comes out, you kind of feel this pull.
I can use that. Somebody fight me!
Yeah.
Fucking Godzilla's her way into the ring.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a lot more fighting with other classes and other students.
But less important fighting.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Is Rin the official like head of this club?
She's been running it.
Like there hasn't been like a proper vote or any kind of democracy, but Rin pretty much just one day was like, I'm giving everyone notes, and everyone else has been like, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, no, they let you take a lot of lead.
Suggestion. One thing we might be able
Is
to
this
do-
before or after Rin fights a person?
Before. Just we've been doing a lot of kind of the same things, but it might be helpful for all of us to kind of step out of that comfort zone, think maybe tactically.
Then you fight me.
Sure. What I was going to offer is just maybe we could either set up handicaps so that people who can't use their best stuff and then have to think of other ways, or maybe if they can't come up with, like, who's going to be your worst matchup, for example, like
No
that type
one.
of thinking. So
And as you say no, when you hear Kyrie laugh.
So just in general, it might be helpful for us to think, like, expanding, put us in situations where we're not going to do well and force us to think ways out of it. Instead of just doing the same thing. You still want to fight?
Gladly.
The handicap is her power.
Says the girl who can't control her flickering.
What did I just do? Next time you know she winks at you. And just goes back to looking at her phone.
And then Rin, no official call for begin, nothing, just swinging for the fences, all at -5 power attacks.
Then you can't hit him.
Just
Without a nat 20, you cannot hit Isaac on your
those
-5s.
reckless swings of destroying this fucking room.
Yeah, no, you ruined the room.
And since nothing was ever said about the actual, like, handicap, handicap that you might notice that he puts on himself is just the rubble you're creating is using that only, not actually fighting you hand to hand, which probably makes you angry.
It makes her so mad!
Nice.
She, after you are throwing rubble at her, she's like, fine! Digs a hand into the ground, hefts up this huge piece of earth, and it's like,
Yeah, there's no other fights that happen as Rin is ruining everything.
like, originally the fists, she was just occasionally colliding with things and destroying them. Now she's downright like, fine, and like trying to catapult you with fucking slabs of earth that she is throwing and knocking around. There comes a point where she grabs the, like, the fight ends up outside, she grabs underneath the building and is like visibly before finally, I'm assuming Panacea would be like, calm the fuck down.
Yeah.
And she'd be like,
No, Panacea doesn't even say calm the fuck down. She puts a hand on you and your anger dissipates.
Whoa.
and then that just ignites a whole new anger. As Brenda's like,
No. Calm down. Put the people down. They're in the building. Put the building down. There's people in it. Your fight's over. I'm the administrator. Your fight's over. No. She keeps a hand on your back and escorts you out.
Just picturing the architect in the corner, like, God damn it.
I think he'd be vaguely interested.
The
He'd be
ar-
like,
the ar-
fix this
the architect,
now.
the architect comes over and he's like, job. And anyone still in the room gets to see him actually work. As he basically produces from this kind of slit in his chest aluminum, and lays it down, and then with his thumbs like presses it into place very simply, and it sticks.
weird.
And he just replaces all of the terrain. He's like,
It's like a spaghetti.
he looks around. Too many. Like, just begins producing square footage of this stuff, and he's like, someone grab And like people begin pulling it out of him, and eventually there's enough square footage for the whole building. He's like, leave. As everyone leaves, he just like puts a thumb at a couple of different places, and it snaps into place. Good.
He
And he
must be
leaves.
amazing at origami.
And he leaves simply, and the room is repaired to its natural state.
Origami sword.
How do you think he fights? He doesn't. He's an architect.
Uh-huh.
Builds
Yeah.
fortress.
He's in costume, though, yes?
Mm-hmm.
What does his costume look like?
It looks like a printer.
I love him so much.
He has like the costume looks like he has this vent very clearly in his costume to emit this aluminum material, and the rest of his costume is very much like it looks like Da Vinci's first schematics. It's like a mix of some parts blueprint, some part canvas cloth appearance, but like sketches and drawings and like formulas that sometimes like you watch him look at and reference. And just each of his hands has what looks to be like almost a stamp on the finger pads. That he's using to do things to this aluminum somehow. That's it. Looks like a printer from here though. Aluminum. And then we move to Z-axis and cooking and art. Cooking, you're there. We've done you. So we're going to Isaac. Which one do you want to look at today?
We just fought.
Yep.
And
Okay.
then as soon as we broke off, I was gone to visit Z-axis, so
Yep.
I'll show up in the middle of that.
Z-axis. Cool. What are you up to? Is there anything you'd like to be up to?
Robin specifically is trying to work with the administrator.
Blowhard.
Blowhard. Okay, so my brain was telling me the right thing. To work with
Yeah, the
Blowhard's,
blowhard.
Air currents.
Mm-hmm.
Basically practicing what the air jets will theoretically be and moving with that.
That'd work real easy if you could tell her a good joke. Make me
An IRL joke.
No, never IRL. Make me a persuasion check.
Okay.
Because she has to laugh to produce the currents.
It's a 4.
And she's a tough nut because she's heard a lot of jokes.
It's a 4.
Yeah, no. She's like, try again later. She is also in costume today. It looks very like a jester's outfit almost. It's in greens and blues, and it's the traditional jester's hat and jester's attire and the little bells on the boots and the bells on the like strings coming off of the gloves or off of the wrists. And she even has like face paint on, kind of mimicking the blue and green checkering all over herself. That's her outfit.
Cool.
Yep.
And the one outfit that I'm very interested to see
Just
is that of the
last-
groundskeeper.
Sure. Last point of clarity. Her cheeks do look like makeup has been done to make them appear a little larger. Like they haven't been, but the makeup raises her cheeks. The groundskeeper's not in costume. She's not a hero.
Oh. She was though.
Was.
You could look up what her costume was.
I'm
I mean,
not.
like. Yeah, but I wanted to see it.
Now, what's Panacea's costume?
Panacea. Imagine you're like traditional nurse. That's it. It's a traditional nurse, and on her back she has a giant syringe. Does nothing.
Perfect. That's amazing.
If you ever played Yu-Gi-Oh, Injection Fairy Lily is a card.
I think they played it up in one of the series. Thus, I've seen it on Abridged.
Mm-hmm. I think Rebecca used it for a while. She was Yugi's grandfather's rival's granddaughter.
Jeez.
Injection Fairy Lily. Pulling it up now. Yeah, that's accurate. That's very accurate. This minus the wings.
Oh my gosh.
For who?
Panacea.
For the architect.
I don't know. To each their own.
And who was the last one that was just asked for costume?
Mother Earth, I think, was the other one.
Yeah, that
Okay.
that was the other one.
Cool. We're gonna move to well, as you're doing that, the other thing that's going on is a lot of speed and mobility, specifically, not just moving in a single direction, which kind of frustrates you a little bit because you're trying to work on that. But Kurt is testing his projectile capabilities and basically using all his target dummies that are moving, but not intentionally like, haha, I'll use them as target dummies. But he's very transparent. He's like, I'm not a good hit. I'm not a good shot, rather. You should be able to avoid these, and if you can't, there's probably something wrong with the way you're moving. And he's throwing rocks. Like, just first throwing rocks, and then he's like, okay. And you notice that he's methodically, like, gone through different size rocks and begins to scrap similar sizes of his metal. He's like, okay, that's the difference. And begins throwing, like, these little balls of metal at people, and each one of them has a little, just a thin wire attached so he can pull it back when he's done. But it's just him testing different things. And the one that catches people off guard is like, okay. And then it's like a medium-sized one on this string, and he throws it, and it definitely misses, but then he just pulls the wire a little bit, and it expands into a net and catches whoever was in that moment. Aries isn't there. Aries is at art class.
I know.
Art club. He's like, good, that works. Sorry. And then he undoes it, and so on and so forth, as he's testing new things. And then we move to art. It's Solar Flare, you, Aries, and
Not Jacques, but I want to call him Jacques.
oh my god.
The French kid.
Higa.
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 Yeah, it does not start with a T.
My bad.
It's a silent T. It's Higa, the T is silent. And Higa has like an easel and a smock and a canvas already set up, and Aries like is dipping his talons in paint.
I love it.
And Solar Flare has just set up like a canvas for every person. He's like, hello everyone. Welcome to art, a further expression of self. Today we are doing whatever we want on the canvas, but it must remain on the canvas. That is the limitation of the day's work. Have fun. And Aries like lifts up a talon and bursts through the canvas. Oh. And picks it up. He's like, well, I haven't gone off the canvas. And lifts it, like, so that his talon is kind of raised. And, like, he moves against he gets a chair, sits down with the one talon up still, and, like, smears paint off of his talons and begins painting on the canvas with his fingers.
His wingtips?
Yeah. He's got proper hands. They end in talons, too, but, like, he's being very gentle.
He has hands.
Allie just like gives him
This whole
generic.
time I thought it was wing arms.
No, he's got like sort of hand things that are part of the wing arms.
I'll pull up the picture.
Oh, okay, that makes sense.
I'll pull up the picture.
Before going over to like her own easel and doing what she's gonna do, Allie just like gives him a couple of names of
There you go.
artists
Oh.
to look up that like used the shape of the canvas and like purposefully made the canvas 3D to do what they were doing. To be like, just because there's a hole in it doesn't mean your canvas is wrong. People have already done this. You're just exploring more ways to do this. You're fine. It's okay.
Yeah, thanks. I guess I didn't need the reassurance.
Sorry.
No, thank you for offer. How dare you apologize for being a good person? Stop. Just be a good person unapologetically, okay? Yeah. Thank you. I'm doing fine. He says with like paint dripping off of his feet. Don't know what I'm making yet, but I'm not much of an artist. And Solar Flare goes, yet, except that you are, because art is expression, so anyone expressing themselves is an artist. And he's like,
Yes, have you
a
ever
lot of
seen
people
Jackson
really...
Pollock? It's just mess on a canvas.
As he's like, any expressions are outside, you sure.
Yeah.
It's a hole is blasted
The
through the
building
gymnasium.
tips. What? I'm curious. What?
Just appropriate
Yeah,
right now.
Mm-hmm.
That's cute.
that's adorable.
Classroom like 2 or 3 days ago. I was like, yep.
And he just continues idly painting. And when he removes his like foot talons, the holes are the only parts of the canvas that aren't painted, and it like kind of makes a unique little image. And he's like, imprint. That's what I'll call it.
I like it.
Yeah. What do you do?
I think Allie actually tries to do like sketches of the people there. Because she probably like she can do generic geometric shapes.
So as far as sketches of the people there, you're like, okay, and you start kind of
because
drawing.
everyone's sitting more or less still. Yeah.
You start kind of drawing Ares, and then you start kind of drawing Higa, and then you start drawing Ryan, and you forget who you're drawing.
What?
And then you start drawing Ryan, and then you start drawing Ryan without like looking at what you're drawing.
Oh.
Exactly.
And then you start drawing solar flare, and you look down, and you have 4 drawings. Yeah.
Not sure who that kid is, but he's cute. Solar flare.
Yeah. As Ryan is part of the class. Part of the club, as it were. I just had some fun with the reveal, because when you're not looking at him, you forget him.
Forget that he exists.
Yep.
Yeah.
And that moves us through our clubs. The DM has to run to the restroom.
Cool.
So, a break screen if you want, or y'all can chat in character.
Up to y'all.
At some point, just not quite screaming on the way through, but just art, cooking club, food,
I don't think you're getting. I don't know if he's getting much out of it.
Rin in cooking club, just like eating. Like, I don't know what he means.
At some point, the whole building has tipped over and come back down again.
goes through obstacle course, plops down. Robin, quick question. You fly in straight lines, right?
Yes.
You do that suction thing, right?
Yes.
Could you use that to turn yourself?
Uh,
Time for art!
Probably. Maybe. Not yet.
Kiri's coming in fucking strong.
Oh yeah. Are you, the question though is, are you shit talking Kyrie?
No.
How are you, beyond just pure anger, how are you actually going to respond and keep this going?
Oh, Rin is not one to bad talk another person
Okay,
for
I
no
know.
good reason. Do you know what she's gonna do? Next time she fights Kyrie, she's not gonna use her power. She's gonna turn it off and be like, try and impress someone now, bitch.
Dang! That's savage.
Fight a normal fucking person.
That's Savage Garden.
Because Rin is still just as accurate, she's just not nearly as strong. She's like, "Ha! Yeah,
I did it.
gear brag.
Your turn.
And also damage will matter.
Yeah, damage will matter.
I'm very nervous about that.
So you can just turn off the regeneration part?
I can turn, my whole power is sustained. It's all a free action to turn on and turn off.
Okay.
But
You have to take the action.
it's a free action. It just has to get to my turn, and then I can do. That's why the zombies one hit KO'd me that one time, which was unfortunate.
What all stats are tied into it then?
My toughness, my fortitude, my strength, my regeneration, my healing, my immunities, my leaping, my speed.
That's a few. That's like one or two.
And since it's my strength, there's a few things that are tied to strength that get downgraded, and it's tied to stamina, so anything that goes off stamina is downgraded. Yeah, Rin is not a whole character without her power turned on.
Initiative matters.
That's why generally when I'm like, oh, things are starting to get dangerous, power on. It's like a barbarian rage.
Except also your defenses are tied into it. That's
Eventually, I might spend the power point to put a trigger on my power, which is when danger looms, power turns on.
You sense it.
But we'll see. I'm a little nervous to fight without my power, because that's gonna be bad.
But good training. There's the handicap.
Yeah.
Good training.
Yes.
Yep,
I'm
that's,
looking-
Go
that's true.
points and Jerry.
Nope, you're gonna.
I'm
put points in.
mumbling about where I need to put points so I can do something to Isaac at some point, and not just have to roll a 20. Because I have to roll a 20 to hit Isaac.
Mm-hmm.
If I win initiative.
You could get a perception-based attack.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Still only a +6, and it's a 26.
No,
Yeah.
perception-based attacks means you aren't rolling to hit. You
Yeah.
already hit him because you can see him.
Yeah.
And
If
with
you can perceive your enemy, you can.
then they
hit
are
them.
hit.
Then they are hit. The Robin's suction is perception based. It's just if I can see you, I can manipulate the atoms between me and you to bring you to me.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
And the cap then is you can only raise whatever power you connect to it to half the power level, because you are then not allowed, like, to not break power level.
Uh-huh.
So, given that you don't have to roll to hit, you can't have a crazy high effect rank.
Mm-hmm.
Perception-based stuff is cool, especially since you have your blood hearing.
Yeah.
If someone's nearby, and since you can pinpoint where they are, that means you can always hit them.
We'll have to look at this.
Unless you ever fight like a robot.
I know, and that point's like, well, it's up
Perception-based...
to you guys, kids.
The only thing is perception-based powers are very expensive. Especially if you have to move them up the ranks of ranged. Because it goes personal, close, ranged, perception, I think.
Okay.
So like if you start with a close range power and then turn it into a perception range power, it's already tripled expensive. It's fucking crazy. And if you turn it into a reaction, a reaction perception ability would be crazy.
You can do one thing.
But I do it really well.
Just with those two modifiers, that's 7 power points per rank. And we're not even sure what it is yet.
Yeah. Gross.
Build just a singular power that triggers. Just triggers.
All the time.
I don't need to take turns, it just triggers.
Just
My
happens.
turn just happens.
I sit there and let chaos happen around me.
My turn is woven into your turn. Don't worry about it. I have a complex Rue Goldberg machine of triggers.
It was interesting though, that Ramona was briefly fine.
Uh-huh.
I understand it though.
I have so many questions.
Just after your body has sustained a panic attack to the point that it comes down, you cannot be panicked anymore for a period of time. That's the.
You just go beyond a human limit and that part of your brain shuts down, or
Well, just your
You-
body can only sustain that panic reaction for so long before it just gets tired and cannot do it anymore. It's the whole logic behind exposure therapy is that you expose yourself to the thing that triggers your phobia or makes you anxious, and you push yourself to think about all the worst possible things and make yourself so anxious that your body just can't be anxious anymore and just comes down from it. So you learn slowly that the thing does not like keep you in this fear state, that it is not as bad as you think it is
Because you lived through it.
because you've lived through it.
huh?
I'm just so curious about that pillar of light.
Right.
And Rin can't be curious because she didn't see it. But like, what was that about? What's Ramona's deal?
We don't know.
I think like Rin can be, because I'm pretty damn sure Allie'd be like, she was fucking floating.
Rin like, excuse me.
There was a light. I thought she was being raptured. Like, I don't know what was going on, but there was this whole yin yang thing going. It was really pretty. I wanted to draw it, but I couldn't get my sketchbook out fast enough.
I thought she went full Catholic for a second there.
I couldn't get it out in time. I've got really just like a basic pen sketch. Like, it's not good. Could start over from memory.
Well, the thing is, Ramona has said that she's not even fully aware
Uh-huh.
of what's happening when it's happening. So even if you approach her and we're like, hey, so you were like in a pillar of light and you were kind of floating.
You were being Star Trek.
Yeah.
Scotty was beaming your ass up.
She'd probably be like,
It's like, sure.
Sure. Yeah.
That's spooky.
That was cool.
It's very cool.
Very cool.
I'm glad I gotta have the fight with every single person who limits my visibility though. Because that means I can justify my power.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm so excited.
I'm
Ryan,
looking.
go ahead.
Go ahead.
Nope, you first.
Oh, I'm looking forward to Jareth leveling up.
Oh God, Jareth's gonna get scary.
Yeah, he is.
He's gonna finally do stuff.
Maybe Aries to do stuff.
Same though. I can't wait for Aries to show up.
Like he's getting like more confident. Like he was fine in art class, sticking his feet through the canvas. But like,
I think he's just hitting pure nihilism.
it's maybe. I'm just
Maybe.
waiting. I'm waiting for him to have like a chance where he's like in a place that he can do the things. He just lands a good raptor strike and slices someone's face open. I don't know. He's got talons. What else is he gonna do?
Scream at him.
Yeah. The screech.
This is true.
Yeah.
So the people who limited your divisibility were Ramona, and it was going
Ramona,
to be
Ryan.
And who was there any
And
others?
there was a third one. Who was it? Oh, and the whole thing she's doing in psychology.
Okay.
I
When you
wanted-
said all the people who limit your visibility, I'm like,
I've counted one. Got anybody else?
Don't hit me with a recap.
We've just been chatting.
Okay.
It's been about the game, but not in character.
Yes.
Cool. Because of the headache earlier, I think I need to call it, guys.
Okay.
I'm sorry it's a little
fine.
short
We
tonight.
just had a full school day. Yeah.
Yeah, just not a lot actually happened, but
Took care of some muggers.
Some growth
Some
opportunities happened.
so that's gonna be our session tonight. Anyone listening, sorry that was a little shorter than usual. Not by a lot, but by a little, because the DM has a headache and needs to take care of that. So thank you for tuning in, past, present, future. That's the whole spiel that I usually do. If you don't know what that is, go check a past VOD. Go check a past VOD.
No, go to a future VOD. I want to see how you do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's usually the bit, is how are they time traveling? Go check a past VOD. I do that bit in a lot of the episodes until the last one where I said I'm done doing that bit.
And
But
here we are.
this is my final reference. This is my final reference to the bit. Then I'm just going to say past, present, future every time from here on. Thank you for tuning into FlavorText. We appreciate your support. Welcome to our table. Hit us up on any of the social media. Follow us. We love you. Goodbye.
Bye.